Okay, so we're group 6 and we have conversation and discourse. Our long-term goal was that Jane will initiate and maintain the topic of conversation with familiar and unfamiliar listeners with 80 to 100% independence. Our short-term goals, the first one is Jane will make appropriate greetings with familiar conversation partners with 40 to 60% independence. The second one is Jane will maintain the topic of conversation with familiar conversation partners with 40 to 60% independence. Our third goal is that Jane will initiate the topic of conversation with familiar conversation partners with 40 to 60% independence. And the last one is Jane will keep her conversation turns to an appropriate length with 40 to 60% independence. Our scoring guidelines, if she got a 0 to 20% independence, that means that Jane is able to perform the task when communicating with constant prompting and cues. If she gets a 20 to 40% independence, she's able to perform the task when communicating with moderate prompting and cues. Our goals are written in the 40 to 60% independence, which means she's able to perform the task when communicating with mild prompting. And if she gets 60 to 80%, she can communicate with minimal prompting and cues, and 80 to 100% independence means that she's able to perform with no more prompts and cues than an average person. And that's also going by the constant, moderate, mild, minimal, and typical listed at the bottom.
Jane's objectives will be targeted through 2 different treatment tasks. Treatment task 1 will start with a video that Jane will be shown with good and bad examples of small talk topics and conversations. The group will have a discussion after the video is shown and discuss what went well or what did not go well, what was appropriate and what was inappropriate. After this discussion, a list of randomized good and bad topics will be given to Jane, and she will be asked to separate these topics into appropriate and inappropriate through a T-chart visual. Topics that aren't on the list can be added as appropriate. As she is separating the topics into appropriate and inappropriate, she will give a reason why she put them in appropriate or inappropriate. She will then fold the paper in half so she can only see the good topics to talk about when the second task is taken.
Okay, Jane, so we just saw a video about small talk. And in that video, we saw some good things and some bad things, right? So why don't you just tell me some of the things you think you saw that went well in that video?
Well, they were talking about work. They were smiling to each other. I really want to get back to work. Can we put that in some of my activities that you work with me on? Like, I just really like my job as a sales manager, and I know I can do it. Like,
yeah,
I'm really able to do that, and like, I know so much about it. I got the job right out of college, and
we're definitely going to work
feel useful in life.
Goal. But for right now, in order to get there, we're going to focus on small talk. Okay? And then we'll get there. Sound good? Okay. So you said some good things they talked about in that video were work. That's appropriate small talk. Was there something in that video that was not appropriate for small talk?
Yeah, later on, they were talking about finances and like how they had all these money problems.
You're
and
right.
I cannot imagine sharing that. That would not be a good idea. I mean, people would be thinking like, what is your problem that you just went bankrupt? Why would you be telling that to someone
You're
else?
absolutely right. So
I mean, I did remember one
you're
person who did that a while back.
Make sure you're taking turns with her, like we talked about. We're going to work on that too. So yeah, but you're absolutely right. Finances is probably not a good thing to do for small talk. Okay, so that was a nice video we saw as an example. So now we're going to talk about some things. Because you have a wedding coming up, don't you?
I do. I'm so excited. Thank you for including this in my task. You're a great clinician.
Oh, thank you. So I'm going to tell you some topics, and I just want you to tell me if you would put this in an appropriate category for small talk at your wedding or an inappropriate category. Does that make sense?
I'm ready. Let's do this.
Okay, so when you tell me each thing, I'm going to ask you why you chose that category, okay? So, at your wedding, would it be appropriate or inappropriate to talk about how the food is?
Appropriate.
Good.
Unless it's really gross. Like sometimes, well, we're picking a good company, but like one time, like I went to a wedding and it was really bad. Like the chicken was so bad. Everyone agreed, and like the bride came around and like she was like, "Do you guys like the food?" And so like we didn't say anything about how it was bad.
Okay. Good job. So talking about food would be appropriate. What about talking about maybe like your ex-boyfriends? Would that be appropriate or inappropriate small talk at your wedding?
Well, I mean, people are going to be saying what a good couple like me and Bobby are, so it might be good to contrast. Like, yeah, I'm really glad that I didn't end up with those.
Okay,
that
so good
guy
thought, but
who's really annoying. Like, kind of contrast.
Right,
Like,
okay.
it might be good.
So for this, actually, that's probably not something that you want to talk about at your wedding, because you're marrying someone who is not that person, and sometimes that might make other people feel uncomfortable if you're talking about other people.
Okay.
Okay. So thank you very much.
So for procedure number 2, we're going to do another small talk conversation. In the last activity, they created a graphic organizer. So what Jane is going to do is fold that piece of paper in half so she is only able to see the appropriate conversation topics for small talk at her wedding. So before we actually begin the treatment task number 2, we will inform her again of her goals and remind her that this is what we will be looking for during the activity. We'll remind her about making appropriate greetings, topic maintenance, taking turns, and initiating conversations. So to start off the task, Jane will be given a conversational script about a topic on the small talk graphic organizer that she made previously. For example, how did she meet her husband? And we will record this conversation as it is scripted. After the conversation's over, it will be reviewed and discussed about what went well and what were the good things that they talked about, the good things that she said. And after they're done reviewing the video, Jane will be given specific points to focus on during their next conversation. After reviewing the scripted conversation and setting her new things to focus on, Jane will initiate a conversation off of the graphic organizer. For example, she can use the same one, how did you meet? This small talk conversation will again be recorded and reviewed at the end of the therapy task. This is a part of evidence-based practice using the video and reviewing the video. It's part of interpersonal process recall, and it sees where they were at before and where they're at now, or they can go back and look at their video and observe and make their own recommendations for self-awareness. We will review the video at the end and discuss what did or did not go well, what she did or did not do, etc. At the end of the task, each person will use our scoring system to score Jane's conversational skills on a 1 to 5 using the scoring system. And this allows us to see where Jane thinks she's at, as well as her mother, and then our opinion on the abilities. And we will have a discussion about each one of those scores.
Okay, so you did awesome in that last activity. So we're going to do another activity, and just to remember, some of the goals we're focusing on are greetings, topic maintenance, turn taking, and initiation. And you remember what all those
what about like those goals that I gave you? Like I wanted to like live alone, work, get back to work,
those are our
like
goals
socialize with my
Pigeon.
friends.
Those are our long-term goals. So in order to get to those goals, we need to focus on these goals, okay?
I just really want to get back to work. Like I love the people
I
I
know.
work with. I love traveling.
So once
and I love
we
being able to
do
help
this,
people with the-
you'll be able to have better conversations with people, including your coworkers, and you'll be able to get back to work, okay? So let's focus on this for right now, okay? So we're going to do one of the topics that you said would be a good topic to talk about for small talk at your wedding, and that's how you and your husband met. So we both have scripts in front of us, and Mom's going to record us having this pretend conversation, okay? We're going to keep our goals in mind and see how we do, okay? So once we're done, we're going to watch our recording and talk about what we did well and what we need more work on, okay? So we're going to read off of our script, but you're going to initiate this conversation, okay?
Sounds good. So I'll start with this one here.
Yeah, you initiate and then go ahead.
Thank you so much for coming to my wedding.
Oh, sure, of course. You guys are so sweet. So how did you guys meet?
We grew up together and went to the same high school. We had a lot of the same friends and all hung out together. We went on our first date sophomore year to the movies and you remember when you called me a bridezilla when we went to the movies yesterday? That really hurt my feelings.
Same.
I'm not a bridezilla. I know sometimes I get upset,
already
but
talked about
I'm not a
this.
bridezilla like in that show. It kind of hurt my
It's
feelings.
okay. We've already talked about this. I need you to listen to your
Please don't call
explanation,
me that
okay?
again.
Do you see my hand when I go like this? Remember, we talked about this in all of our sessions before. When you see my hand go like this, that means we're getting a little off topic and we need to get back on track, okay? So from now on, just watch for my hand, okay? It's okay. You're doing great. So let's continue. That is such a great story. Did you guys go to college together after high school?
Yes, we both went to Boston University and continued to date throughout college, then moved back to Boston after graduation. In college, we went to a lot of concerts and football games. One time, there was a party that we went to, and we dressed up like Disney characters. I love Disney so much. I know that I'm like 26 or 27, how old I am, but I just love Disney. Like, I love Disney movies.
So how are you all enjoying being back in Boston?
It's okay. We don't really like the neighborhood. The houses are not big enough, especially when we put my Great Dane in there.
All right, let's cut the video. Okay, so that was good. Now we're going to watch the video and see how we did. Let's watch it. Okay, so what did you think about that video?
Well, I think I did good because I saw your hand signal
you did well
on the third one.
Yes, you did.
The second one, I think I paid attention to your hand too.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm really glad that I told people about like good things about myself and just my overall like social butterfly personality, like telling lots of good details and being personable to people.
Okay, so now I'm going to tell you some of the things that I thought about our video. Okay, so some things you did really well. You did a great job initiating that conversation. So when you're at your wedding, there's a lot of people that you're going to have to go up to and talk to, and I think you're doing a great job initiating conversation. Some things that we can work on when you started talking to your mom about being called a bridezilla, which I know is very unfortunate, but that's not something that was part of that topic, okay? So I held up my hand, but I don't think you saw that time. So remember with the hand thing, you're just going to watch for my hand. When I hold it up, it means you're getting off topic. We need to get back on track, okay?
I just have to get my emotions out, you know, like even if it was like at the wedding and like I just needed to get out my emotions.
Right. Yeah, I understand that. But for now, for this goal, we're talking about small talk. And when you're participating in small talk, you're not telling a lot about your life. You're just kind of speaking quickly to someone. So that's what we're working on right now.
And there's a lot of people at your wedding. You're not going to be able to tell them all your emotions. You're going to have to make it pretty quick.
Right. So another time I held up my hand, you started talking about Disney characters and how much you love Disney. You caught me that time and you stopped yourself. And then the third time was the best time you saw my hand and you stopped yourself right away, okay? So for mom, if you guys wanted to do this activity at home, holding up the hand like I just did is something that you guys can practice, okay?
Okay, that sounds great. We definitely will.
Okay, awesome. So for the next part of this activity, we're going to do the same thing, but this time we're not going to use a script, okay?
Good. I didn't really like that anyway.
So mom's going to record us again. And mom, you can be part of the conversation this time.
Okay.
All right, so you're going to initiate the conversation once again, okay?
Okay. Thank you so much for coming to my wedding.
Oh, sure, of course. You're so sweet. So how did you guys meet?
Well, we went to high school together. He was in the marching band with me. He's an excellent drummer. He's like such a good drummer. Like he can do all kinds of really cool riffs.
All right, well, that is such a great story. Did you guys go to college together after high school?
Yes, we went to Boston University together. He got his degree in music performance. I got my degree in biochemistry, which I eventually went on to use with my sales manager position, which I love. I love the people I work with. I love traveling. I really want to get back to work.
So how are you guys enjoying Boston?
It's okay. I mean, what do you think about it, Mom? Like you came to visit us.
Yeah, it was great to visit.
Wait. Did you like that better than when you visited my sister, like down in Alabama? Like, what did you think about that? Like, I know that down there is Alabama.
I was going to tell you, but you kind of got off. So, yeah, I really enjoyed visiting you. It was great.
All right, let's cut the video there.
Okay.
All right, so that was a good job. Some things I noticed that you could work on is interrupting others. So you were just asking your mom something and you kind of interrupted her. And we're going to go ahead and do our scores. So,
okay. Let's watch the video really quick, I think. Ready?
All right, good. So, like we talked about a little bit before we watched the video, interrupting was something that I noticed. Some other things, just for some feedback, giving other people a turn to talk. So that kind of goes with staying on topic. When you see the hand, it means you're getting off topic and you need to give somebody else a turn to talk. Okay? That goes with our next goal too, staying on topic. When you see the hand, it means you're getting off topic. So the reason we're practicing that now is because nobody will be there at your wedding to give you that hand, okay? And you want to make sure you want your conversations with everyone to be smooth so that in the long run you can get back to work and do what you need to do, okay? So let's rate these videos. We're going to do a scale of 1 to 5. So your rating was?
Yeah, so I wrote down a rating of a 5 because I'm just a social butterfly and I've always had a lot of great friends, and yeah, I think it had some bumps, but still overall I think I did a great job.
Okay, so 5 is the best rating, so you gave yourself the best rating. So Mom, we're on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being that she needs a lot of improvement and 5 being that she's perfectly on the game. So
I mean, Jane, I think 5, that's probably unrealistic right now. I think you did okay. I think you're getting there. But like, your clinician said, no one's going to be there to cue you. So I don't think you were a 5 because you still kind of needed her to help you along. So I think you're probably about a 3 right now.
And I think that was really good, Mom. I think your mom's right, and I would agree with her. I would give you a 3. You do have an awesome personality, and I'm glad that you want to share everything. But for the purpose of small talk, we just want to keep it kind of quick because there's a lot of people at your wedding, okay? So I would also give you a 3. There's some things that we can work on, and we talked about them, staying on topic, giving other people a turn, not interrupting. But then again, there are things that you have drastically improved on since we first started. So initiation and eye contact, things like that. You're doing great.
Thank you.
So just for a quick review, we had a great session today. In the beginning, we saw a video about small talk, and we saw some of the good and bad things, and you listed things that would be appropriate and inappropriate to talk about at your wedding for small talk. So what were some things, just as a review, that you think would be good to talk about at your wedding?
Well, we had this little graphic organizer you gave me, very handy, and I put on the good side, talking about the dinner at the wedding, entertainment, family, how did you meet? Because I do like to talk a lot about my family. Bobby, okay. And then on the bad, I put finances. It's not a good idea to talk about.
Good job.
Ex-boyfriends. You guys kind of told me about how that wouldn't be good.
Right. Good. Okay, so this graphic organizer I'm going to give to you guys to take home.
Okay.
So like I said before, this is something that you guys can easily practice at home, and you can use the hand cue. And so just like what I do, when your mom shows you the hand, that means you're getting off topic and you need to stay on topic, okay? So you can take this home, practice before the wedding, and this will definitely help you guys out.
Do you need us to bring this for next session, or?
Yeah, if you want to, you can.
Okay.
We can come up with even more things to talk about at your wedding.
And we were also just working on planning the wedding. Could we talk about that a little bit more?
Of course. You can make this topic about anything you want. It doesn't have to be how they met. It can be topics about planning the wedding, anything.
And can I bring like some paperwork, like some things to do with my job? Because I really want to get back to that.
Yeah. After the wedding, we'll see where we are with our goals, and we'll probably be able to incorporate that. Okay?
Thank you so much for your help.
Thank you guys. Great job.
Thank you. You're a great clinician.
Jane will take all of her graphic organizers and notes home with her. This will allow her to present her strategies to her parents and fiancé so they can help her monitor her targeted skills at home. The clinician will encourage Jane to practice her wedding small talk with both familiar as well as unfamiliar people. We received some of our evidence for our techniques used in therapy from experienced speech-language pathologists such as Perry Flynn and Dr. Lundgren, as well as online resources listed here.